Yeah, I'll start just by saying obviously it was a different week last week, and watched the game on Saturday. Luckily had a live feed and then had the TV version, so it was fun to watch. I think the guys played well, played hard. A lot of things we can fix, but I thought they went out there and were physical and did the things we need them to do, and find a way to get a win. So it was good. It was good to talk to the guys afterwards in the locker room, and I've been zooming with them all week. Watch practice Tuesday and Wednesday live as well, and I'm excited to get back to the office tomorrow morning, and we start MAC play. We got a road MAC game against the defending MAC East champions, and a ton of guys that have played a lot of football at a very high level, and so it'll be a huge challenge. But I know our guys are excited. They've had 2 good days, and now hopefully we'll get their bodies right here in the next couple days, and we'll fly out to Buffalo. So excited with where we're at. Excited to get back and be around and be able to help more hands-on instead of virtual, and we're excited for this opportunity. Question. I'm ready.
I had a question about just moving the team out to Pittsburgh and then bringing them back from Pittsburgh and then having the game against San Jose. Now you're back going east again. Those are both plane rides, right?
Yes, sir. They are. Yeah.
And of course, San Jose State would know better than anybody about the difficulty causes when you're moving a team like that with so many moving parts. Can you comment about how that could be a problem or won't be a problem?
Yeah, it can definitely, the jet lag part of them going to Hawaii and then come play us. I mean, that is a tough thing to do, just to wake your body up. But when we went to Pittsburgh, I mean, the stories are, and I mean, nothing went right on that trip. I mean, from the moment we were getting on the plane and TSA decided not to show up, and where I had the whole team sitting in a hangar that was hot as Hades with sweatsuits on for 3 hours trying to get on the plane, and we were an hour or two late. Thank God for our flight crew. They came off the plane to do TSA for us. I couldn't have thanked them enough, but it was only a one-man crew, so it took like 3 hours. Hookster was there with us in the heat, and I always tell people, like, the warm-ups every year are interesting because sometimes you get the ones that are really light that are going to be great in August and terrible in November. And sometimes you get the thicker ones that are going to be miserable in August and September and be awesome in November. Well, we have the thick kind. And so our kids were in there sweating. So there's just a lot of distraction that can happen. The key is that when we get to the hotel, that we get right back into our rhythm of what we do, how we do it. Obviously, the guys handled that very well. We were going to go to Heinz Field on Friday, but we didn't get to because of everything that was going on. So, just another chapter. I just got to tell the guys it's just another chapter in the book, and so, it definitely can be a headache. And we obviously are going to go on another flight, and it's a longer flight. But it is what it is. I think we have a mature team. I think that helps a lot when you have this many seniors, guys that have played a ton, and everybody stayed calm and adjusted to the world as it changed around us when we went to Pittsburgh. And if that happens again, hopefully it's a smooth trip. But if it's not, our guys are prepared and they know it's a business trip. We're here to do a job, and they're excited about the opportunity to do it.
Hey, Tim, can you talk a little bit about how Saturday went, watching the game remotely?
Well, I can tell you this. I got my watch, which is now out of juice because my charger's in the office. And on an average day during COVID in my basement, I walk about 1,500 to 2,000 steps, which is not a lot because I'm virtually on the couch most of the day watching in meetings. Saturday, I had 12,000 steps. From one side of my basement to the other side of my basement. I can show it to you on my phone next time I see you. So it was a great setup. I had a live feed, which was huge. So just the sideline wide view that I could keep up with what was going on because and it was a little bit ahead of the TV copy. So I'd get to watch it on my laptop first and then watch it on the TV copy when it wasn't cutting in and out. So and they got all that stuff fixed by the second half. So there's nothing I could do. I texted a bunch of guys in the morning, wishing them good luck. Talked to all the coaches in the morning, and then I didn't talk to them till afterwards. You know, I had my game plan in front of me, so I knew what we were doing. I knew what a lot of the calls were. You know, I had some opinions on some of the things I wanted to do offensively and make some changes, but I couldn't really relay those to our guys because that's against the rules. So I think that was the most frustrating part. Is I really do enjoy. I think everybody enjoys the adjustments you can make at halftime, you know, like when you're seeing things and putting our guys in good spots. And I had some adjustments I wanted to make that I couldn't. So, you know, I'm excited to be a part of the conversation again and be able to help, at least offensively, you know, make some adjustments because we always know our plan will not outlast the enemy. They're going to have adjustments, and we have to adjust better than everybody else, you know? So, you know, obviously it was hopefully a one-time thing and I don't have to get used to that, but it was definitely different game day for me. But I was proud of the guys for hanging in there and controlling the clock, controlling the ball, being the more physical of the two teams. That's why I told you guys, like the ball's going to move a direction. That pile at the line of scrimmage, it moves. And I thought on both sides of the ball, we won that. And that was really difficult because their D-line was huge, massive. And we were physical and we controlled the clock. I would like to score more. The offense knows that. And we got to get back to work on that side of the ball.
Yeah, the offense definitely wasn't clicking like it had been earlier in the season. What did you see? And what are some things that have been done to try to avoid a performance like that again?
Well, I mean, anytime you don't turn the ball over and you hold it for 37 minutes, you got a chance to win. You know, now being able to finish drives is a big deal. And you know, so we have to do a better job of making. Maybe we missed some reads. You know, we missed some reads, we missed some protections, and it seemed on Saturday to come at important times. You know, it came on. Oops, sorry. It came on a third down in the red zone a couple times. And a lot of different coverages, and they got Caleb a couple times, and so we just need to be more efficient. We need to do a better job of preparing. We need a better job of them making sure our offensive guys feel comfortable with what they're going to see. I thought Mike Caliendo did a phenomenal job of orchestrating the 10 different fronts we saw and getting us in a pretty good. I mean, you don't run the ball like we did without having a dude up front that's pretty smart against a front like that. And you know, I thought we started the game executing fairly well, and then later on, I just think we missed a couple throws and we took a couple sacks we didn't need to take, and so it's good. It's great to learn when you win, you know. And so Caleb has a lot to learn from that game, and so does the whole offense as a whole. So I love when there's a lot to get better at, and we're talking about how we won because we controlled the line of scrimmage and we took care of the ball, which are the two things that have to happen if we're going to win, especially a road MAC game. You know, that has to continue. But we also have to be more efficient in the passing game. And that's something that I pride myself on. I wasn't quite there to be a part of it, and I'm looking forward to getting back and being a part of it again.
Coach, Buffalo, new coaching staff, Coach Leipold took 6 players, I don't want to say took 6 players, but 6 players left and went to Kansas. They lost their running back, their stud running back to the NFL. But essentially they're still much of the same team that won the MAC East last year. Can you talk about the differences between this team and that team?
Well, you know, believe it or not, I didn't really watch them last year. Schematically, I don't really know the differences. We haven't played them since 2017. and I really didn't watch them last year. I know they have a bunch of really good players. I mean, they're number 49. That defensive end they have is about as good as there is in our league. You know, they have a pass rush specialist. Number 6 is really good too. They're 2 linebackers that played a ton of football and been in a MAC championship game. They can cover in the secondary, you know, offensive line wise. They lost a couple of guys, but they're still big and can run the ball. They have 3 backs that are running the ball. I love their quarterback. I recruited him really hard at Purdue when I was the
Kyle
quarterback coach.
Ventries.
Yes, I know him well. And was very impressed with him when I was the quarterback coach at Purdue. And so I've always been interested in him. And he's obviously done a great job. And then the receiver that transferred from number 3 from Eastern Michigan. I mean, he's leading the league in receiving right now, you know, and so they throw it, they run it. You know, I think they're a little bit more balanced this year. Last year, just looking at the stats, they ran the ball more, but they're really balanced. You know, their defense is still one of the best defenses in the league. So, you know, like you said, there's a ton of good players that have had a ton of success, and you know, coach has got them playing. He's done a great job in a tough situation of getting those guys to come together and play hard together. And they have a lot of confidence in what they've done in the past. And he's you know, obviously trying to build on that. And that's kudos to him and his staff coming in at the time they have and playing a tough non-conference schedule and playing well.
Thank you.
Coach, second week in a row that you've had double-digit penalties after really not committing a ton the first 2 weeks. What are some things that you think you know, the team can work on to make sure they're not kind of shooting themselves in the foot or giving the team, you know, giving the opposition, you know, free yards?
Yeah, I mean, the ones you could, there's penalties that you can control, and then there's ones you can't. You're playing man coverage. You know, we got to not be handsy. There's going to be some judgment calls on that one. Holding, O-line wise, it all depends on the guys throwing the flags. If they want to throw them, you know, because both times we've had a lot of penalties, they've thrown a lot of penalties on the other team. You know what I mean? It's both, like the first game we were 3-3, and the second game was like 3-5, and then it's been 11-8 and 11-10 or something like that. So a lot of it comes down to the person officiating the game. We have to stop jumping off sides, like little penalties, like the ones that we have total control over. You know, Caliendo had one, Gideon had one. You know, the things that we can control, like, you know, offsides penalties is what we have to get fixed. And it's been the rest you just live with. You know what I mean? And you know, whether if they're going to call it, they're going to call it on. They're going to call both ways. That I think the officials did a good job of being fair on both sides. You know, you don't know going into a game if you're going to be in a game with 3-3 or 10-10. You know, you just have to. You just hope it's even. You know, and you know, we've discussed that a lot with our offensive line. I think in the last 2 games, our offensive lines had way too many penalties, but they're a physical group. You know, and when you're a physical group, you're going to have that. And, you know, the more man coverage you play, the more susceptible you are to some of those issues, you know. We played more zone. We didn't have penalties, but guys were running wide open, you know. So it's so we are constantly talking about it and constantly evaluating. But the discipline of the pre-snap penalties has to go. We have to get rid of that. There haven't been a ton of those, but there's been enough in the last 2 games that we've talked about. We've changed up our case a little bit and done some things to make it a little bit easier on those guys up front. So we've attacked the issue and we've solved it. It's been better this week in practice.
Can you give us an update on the injury status of Deshaun Bustle and AJ Thomas, who both missed last week?
Yeah. So and Bryson Garner missed last week too. So Bryson and AJ are kind of day to day. You know, they've been moving around. They've been on the field. It's going to be. We're going to see how they. You know, we're going to. Right now, I plan on traveling them. They've been running around. You know, so we just got to see how they're doing. Bustle will be out. Bustle's shoulder has been is beyond repair. You know what I mean? So he's having surgery. What's today? Wednesday? He has surgery tomorrow. So he will be out for the remainder. We got to get that thing. He tried to come back. The shoulder just didn't want to agree with him. It didn't want to stay in place. Although he and got Dorian Jackson for this very reason, and felt kind of like we had 3 to 4 starting corners going into the year, and that's why you recruit, and Dorian's done a great job since he's been in there. Feel really confident and feel bad for Bus, but he'll be. And then the other two are game time decisions. It was great to get Seelig back. It was fun to see him out there again. He got his hand on a ball. So I'm hoping AJ and Bryson they're close to turning a corner, and they're in shape. They know what we're doing. So hopefully we'll find out after warmups, where they're at.
Tim, you rotated Trevor Campbell in there quite a bit. Did he play a few snaps Saturday? It looked like he was in there quite a bit.
He did. Gideon jumped off sides, and not that he was not doing anything wrong. We just need to, we need to maintain discipline in there. And Gideon and him had a heck of a battle in the preseason, And when he got hurt, Campbell went in there and did really well against Michigan. So I feel like we got some flexibility there. If someone's struggling, if someone's banged up a little bit, having extra linemen to rotate through there is huge. So Campbell's always going to be ready. He's always going to, I don't know if he'll start this week. I mean, Gideon's probably still going to start. But those are the two, those are the only 2 new guys we have, so they're kind of going through their normal growing pains. And Gideon's going to be a great player. He's just got to calm down and keep playing. And same way with Campbell. So it's good that we have a guy to put in if a guy's struggling, and then we kind of started rotating. They both played, I thought, fairly well, minus the penalty by Gideon jumping off sides.
Make a career playing on Sundays?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's going to be some for them talent wise, no question. I mean, those guys they're competitors. I always tell Ali he's got to keep his weight up. It's hard for him when he's in the high 240s, 250s, he's a load. As the season goes on, he's done a great job with his weight, keeping it up. And then Ralph Holly's 287 pounds and he can run. The other guy was Fisk. Fisk, for a 295 pound kid, he played about as good of a game as I've seen. I mean, they were everywhere in the backfield. I mean, we knew that we had a stud quarterback that could get rid of the ball, and we had to put pressure on him. We kind of told you guys going in, we had to get in his face. And can we get in his face? That's the question. If we can get there, then then great. If we can't, we have to drop and play coverage, and we were able to get there, and they lived in the backfield. And I thought Corbin Moment did a good job blocking. I thought our whole D line in general, Kainoa went in there and played. I thought they kept a lot of pressure in the pocket, and there wasn't a lot of places to go. And trust me, playing quarterback in that scenario is very difficult, and we're going to need, we got an experienced offensive line again this week. And so we're going to have to do a lot more of that coming or going to Buffalo.
Coach, seems like all of your skilled position players are getting lots of touches. There's, all the running backs were spreading the ball around, and the receivers, Corey Crooms has really emerged. And of course, Skyler is Skyler. Can you talk about all the different weapons you have and the fact that the balance and the way Caleb's making decisions to get the ball spread around?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the key of what we want to be, It's been fun to watch Jackson Kincaid get healthy again, because he's kind of the third amigo in there, because Ladarius and Sean have been doing such a good job, and now we have a third. It's a long season. We're going to need, I hope all 3 make it, but having 2 where it's definitely a luxury. And then so you got definitely guys that can catch out of the backfield. We got an empty with two running backs in the game last week. And then you got obviously Sky, who's an all-around player. He's physical. He runs well, catches the ball. Crooms is doing a great job in the side, and Jalen can fly out there to the field. Ran an unbelievable double move on that post corner for a touchdown on the one of the early drives of the game. So they all do different things well, and then Bryce Nunley is another guy who came, from the 1AA level, who's had a couple of good games. Michigan, he had a really good game. So, and then the young guys are trying to push. So, the key is we preach, our offensively that we're going to take what the defense gives us. And depending on coverage and depending on the week, we have the ability to have anybody have a big game at any time. Now, I say that, and the one thing I'm most impressed with this receiving core is that they all can play every position, and that's pretty unique. I've never really had that where I've had 4 receivers that can play any one of the 3 or 4 spots. And so if it is a game where the slot receiver is going to have a lot of touches, then we can move things around so we can put Sky in the slot a little bit. We did that against Pitt. I know Crooms lived in the slot, but we started messing around and putting Sky in the slot just to get him going a little bit. So kudos to those guys for learning our system. You always have one guy that's like the Rubik's Cube, but we have 4. And so we really do have the ability to move guys around. And as the year goes on, that will help us a lot as we find good matchups because these guys can easily move from position to position and be able to execute. So that's huge for us.
Another thing your defense did well Saturday was hold San Jose State to 2 of 13 on third downs. Opponents currently around 25% on the year on third downs. What have you liked about how your defense has been able to get off the field?
Yeah, they've done a great job, and they're doing a great job with a mix of things. Obviously everyone likes to see the pressures because they're cool looking and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and we're in man coverage behind that normally. And then we played some coverage, and Coach Espo has done a great job of mixing it up. Our D-line has done a great job of trusting their paths and not getting selfish. It's the hardest thing is to not try to bubble around a defender and create an escape lane for a quarterback, and so they've all trusted the coaching. And obviously we have a bunch of really good players and they're listening to the coaching and they're all getting to the quarterback. There's a couple times again where they all got to the quarterback. I didn't know who got the sack because it was just a pile of people. And but there was nowhere for the quarterback to escape. So the one thing about third down that everyone needs to understand that we preach all the time is you earn third downs. So you have to have a good first and second down. They're doing a great job on first and second down, which is earning them some great third and long opportunities for them to pin their ears back and go. And we talk about it on the opposite side. If we do good on first and second down, we're dealing with 3rd and 2s, not 3rd and 12s, So I think they've done a good job in first and second down of giving themselves the opportunity to be fun to watch on third down. And they've taken some
emergency tackles on some coverage plays as the last guy available. How do you keep working on shoring up those issues on special teams?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our guys that are playing are young and they just need to learn and they need time out there, and unfortunately on that first we had a guy block out instead of down and he's never done it before. He blocked out. We let a guy clean on a first pass PAT field goal. So we got that fixed and it wasn't an issue the rest of the game, but that was just a misassignment by one player. And it was good to see him corrected on the next one, and so that was big growth by him. And then obviously Nick's playing great. Nick's playing at a really high level and we need to continue to get our coverage teams to do a better job. They've done a pretty good job up to this point, but we're continuing to bring along young guys and figure out who are the next players, who's the future. I mean, that's where, Giovanni Ricci and Ryan Seelig and AJ Thomas, they were all special team studs, and that's how it all started. And so we've got a lot of young guys out there, and that's great that we have 4 non-conference games early as we throw them all out there and figure out which guys are ready to, and I think we got some guys that are emerging. And then we play a lot of veterans, and we got to continue to play more veterans on our special teams, but those first 4 games is a great opportunity for us to throw the young guys out there and figure out which ones are ready, because every single rep they takes a rep off a starter. And I think we're in a pretty good place. I didn't like that one return. I didn't like the return against Michigan. And so we've licked our wounds. We figured out who can play and who can do what. And now we get conference play. We got to have it fixed by then.
Getting back to, do you feel that the team is where you expected them to be or hoped that they would be after those 4 non-conference games? Is the team progressing at the rate that you had hoped?
Yeah, it is. To be honest with you, I think, obviously I spent 8 months, January through the end of August with the defense, coaching the defense. And I feel like we've improved. Me and Coach Espo spent a lot of time just figuring out where we can put players and challenge offenses a little bit more. And I think I've seen a lot of improvement on that side, although we've only played a third of a season. So we got a long way to go. And now we're going to play the teams in our league that they know us, so there's a lot of familiarity here in the next 8 games. So you can take anything they did against anyone else and throw it out the window. But I like where we're at defensively. I like some of the new things we put in the offseason that have been working, giving us some flexibility. Offensively, we've been, I think we've been okay, not as good as I want to be. I kind of made that transition back over there about 2 weeks ago, then got COVID and I'm in the basement. So I can't wait to kind of dive back in over there. They're still running the same system that I put in, but I'm looking forward to being more hands-on with that side of the ball and watch us continually grow. Because I do think we have to get better. We need to execute better on that side of the ball. We've been good, but not as good as we need to be. And so I'm excited for the growth on that side of the ball that we still have to show here in the next 8 weeks.
Is there any update on the status of Brett Worski, who we've yet to see this year?
Yeah, it's a good point. He practiced this week. We decided to let it calm down for 2 weeks, and he got back. I don't think he's going to play this week. I mean, he has been moving around. I have not put him in there to get many reps. He's played so much. It's not like he needs a ton of reps to know our plays. But we tried to hurry him back, and it wasn't really agreeing with us. We gave him 2 weeks break. Our goal is that when he comes back, he's ready to play. Anthony Torres has been doing a great job. Jack Sherwin's been doing a great job at tight end spot. We haven't been running as much 12 as we normally do, although we can. Mitch Bartol, who got hurt in the offseason, practiced for the first time this week. So our tight end room is starting to fill back up. There was a point there was only like 1 in there until we moved the tackle to tight end so we could have 2. Now we're at 3 and 4. And when they all come back, we could actually start being able to run tight end wise, be able to run our offense like we used to. The great part is we've gotten in some 21 personnel, and it allows us to put 2 running backs on the field. And so there's been we saw that coming in the whole offseason. That's why we worked on 21 personnel all spring, and so we'd be prepared for it. So once Borski's back and once Bartol's back, then I feel like we can really do anything we want personnel wise offensively. But that he is a big piece of that puzzle. It's caused us to be a little bit more simplistic here in the last couple of weeks, offensively, and we're looking forward to getting him back. I don't think it'll be this week, but if he turns a corner, I'm about to have my staff meeting here in about an hour, so we'll find out how he did in the pit today. He's been out there running. It's just we got to get him all the way back so he can start blocking people and running around catching balls again.
Coach, final question from me. Are you still on schedule to return to the team tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning. Can't wait. I'm going straight to Sweetwater's and bringing donuts. I'm ready. I got my leadership council meeting at 7:20 tomorrow morning. I'm in charge of the donuts. I had to get someone else to get the donuts last week. That will be my first order of business, is straight to Sweetwater's, straight to the leadership council meeting before our team meeting at 7:50. So I cannot wait. It took a while to get healthy, but about 2 days ago, I was back. Like energy was back, like I wanted to go. So it's just been like a caged animal since then. And so I'm excited to go back and see the guys face to face.